Why have you put me live while I'm being angry at Derek? Jesus. For those of you who have only just joined in, Derek, our beloved Brian, has come in and decided that he wanted to start a conversation now with a genuinely interesting topic. I actually stopped what I was doing. I was giving him my attention. I was willing to sort of hear, like, oh, we're talking about the terms and conditions of apples. I know they can be quite draconian. What has he found that might be piquing my interest? He leans in close and whispers into my ears. Did you know that the terms and conditions weren't read by Adam and Eve? I'm like, oh, for Jesus Christ, kill me.
So, do you know what smells like red paint but's blue?
I don't know. Please inform me.
Blue paint.
Allow me to repeat my earlier outburst. Why is he here?
Guess who I saw today?
Yourself. A mirror. Your wife. Hope. Something.
You're close. Everyone I looked at.
I would like to just like to say thank you to my dad for getting up into his, nice prime years where, I should be expecting these things. But no, he's gotten this out of the system. I don't have to be tortured by that anymore from him. Instead, I decide to come on here to Talkin Drek. Or Talking Derek, depending on who you ask. And I am lambasted with dad jokes. That just makes me reconsider why humanity is allowed to be on this green earth.
Well, I was once up on stage and I tried to tell a chemistry joke.
There was no reaction.
There wasn't much of a reaction.
Kill me.
See, you laughed at that one, though.
Apparently sarcastic laughs counts. But then again, so did I do.
It does.
Hey, listen, if it goes on a spreadsheet, it counts. Because we are accounting for everyone.
Do you know why you can't trust an atom?
Because it splits.
Because they make everything up.
I actually
poured some water on the duck's back yesterday.
What,
I don't think he really cared.
Sex.
I come here prepared with entertainment, with my games, with systems and inputs, and what I am met with is a stonewall of, oh boy, we can make him cringe, we can make him suffer. let's just dogpile on him.
You know what the sad thing is? We don't prepare. It's not like we target you.
Talking about preparing, I had a boss once that told me that I needed to dress for the job I want, not for the job that I have. So I walked in dressed as Batman.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Okay, I'm done with my shtick.
Are you? You are. You are. No, I can already hear the happiness in your voice. It's like my sustenance. I have someone I can feed on. Have some more pain.
Well, see, you guys perpetuate me. You make me laugh, so.
So you return it in what? Is this kindness? In which case, I don't want to see your hate. I want to be kind to you.
I have no hate.
Okay. Spite? I'm waiting for an answer here. Please. Don't leave me hanging. All right.
I love both of you, and I would never do anything bad.
By whose standards?
Mine.
Okay, that's already low, so. I forgot. I'm talking to an Aussie. I was like, whose standards? I was like, well, mine. And I was like, well, might as well just be asking a Canadian, will you not commit war crimes?
Well, I have been trying to convince him for about the past 4 or 5 days that he needs to carry around a very large snake.
I'm missing a pun here.
No pun.
Then I'm just confused.
Apparently, it's an American thing. You'd have to apparently watch the Super Bowl to understand that one.
No, it's all over YouTube.
Well, yes, it's on YouTube now, but apparently it's for the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah.
And makes no sense whatsoever after finding out more context about it, which just is so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm told when the Super Bowl happens, and every year I don't pay attention to it. And every year I've got American friends who comes up and goes like, "Oh, I watched the Super Bowl. Good for you. Hope you had fun." Now let's move on to something that's a little bit more engaging, like how are you going to survive today's session?
The world champions with one country that participates.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, if all the participants is one country, it is technically encompassing all participating world members. The logic doesn't need to make sense to you.
Clearly, all the rest of us already forfeited.
Naturally.
I think we just don't play because you've got to, wear pads and stuff, and Aussies are not used to having to wear protection.
Oh, so here's the weird thing. One of my friends, his brother, plays American football.
Mm-hmm.
Or he played, and I was more surprised with that it existed as an actual sport in Denmark. I was like, of all things, like I would expect rugby to have made its way in, given our proximity to England. But no, it's American football has apparently made its way, and I was genuinely surprised.
So I'm going to attempt to do something I don't think is possible, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway.
Right.
It's not.
Surprisingly, I am going to refer to him, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, you hadn't heard about the Perkins thing then, and the
no. I went down that rabbit hole last night after you mentioned it, and started reading. I guess it was an article that came out in Polygon.
Yeah, one of those ones.
Yeah,
and only like the last week or so.
No, I hadn't. And the weird thing is, for my channel, I try to do daily move throughs all the main, news outlets and stuff. And now that one has completely gone by my radar. So Saxius, what we're talking about. Well, go ahead, Sheriffus, and tell him what.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, since apparently I'm the one that let old Derek know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was apparently that the adventure that we got in Vecna Eve of Ruin is not the conclusion and the story that it should have been. Or the parts that were in there that should have been were cut down to be what it became. Basically, from the beginning, there was meant to be a through line through all the official released adventures connecting to the obelisks that kept appearing in all the official stories, from Vandelver and Below to
I'm with you.
Rime of the Frost Maiden, Tomb of Horrors, was that?
And then the rebrand of Fandelver.
Yep.
And Shattered Obelisk.
Yeah. And basically those obelisks were meant to connect to the end adventure, which would be Vecna.
Mhm.
It was meant to connect with that, and it was meant to connect to the Netherese.
Yeah. Netheril. Yeah. Netherese. Yeah.
The Netherese potentially either coming back or time warp where they are involved, and that whole thing kind of was meant to go down, and it was meant to be kind of this big. This has been what we've been trying to build up to, our big kind of storytelling thing for the
Yep.
end of the run of 5th edition.
Okay.
Instead, we got some weird kind of multiverse story with kind of names and locations that were in 5th edition,
And some that were not in 5th edition.
Yep. And just a kind of a lackluster story where, you had, like, spoiler, Mordenkainen was in the story, except it wasn't Mordenkainen.
Right.
So, fuck that for a joke. Like, there was a lot about it that just was pointless and useless. And instead, the story that we should have got is a far more engaging thing, which actually shares more in common with what Derek came up with for his Vecna fix.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So basically, the official story is Vecna is housed in this cavern, and is trying to trying to pull off the end of the multiverse. He's trying to destroy the entire multiverse. The players are tasked with going to different settings and collecting different parts of the Rod of Seven Parts to take and release Miska, the wolf spider goddess god thing, and using help with that to destroy Vecna. So it would take folks to Forgotten Realms, to Eberron, to a part of Greyhawk, to a part of Spelljammer. I mean, just across the different settings that they dealt with. Problem is, in all of the advertising material, we were told that Vecna was the big bad evil guy, but they never had Vecna even in it. He was referenced, talked about, but he didn't show up until the very last paragraph or last chapter of the book. And even then, he was only in half of a paragraph. The stat block that they provided to us for him was a stat block that they had released in a Vecna portfolio 3 years prior. So this was not really a big bad guy. This was Vecna as we had already seen him. So it was like, what was the point here? There was just something not right. So prior to all of that, prior to the actual book coming out, of course, I was trying to hone in on my channel. I was trying to hone in on views and making videos all about Vecna, because that was the hype. Everybody was hyped up about, oh, Vecna, this is going to be a really cool adventure. Oh, yeah. What's it going to be about? And so I would look at all of the different adventures that specifically had to do with these obelisks. And like Seraphis was saying, there's some that are in Rime of the Frost Maiden. There's some that were in, various other adventures peppered throughout the history of 5th edition. And one of the things that came out was that Vecna had used the obelisks to time travel and wipe out the entities or people that created it, called the Weavers. Well, Weavers were part of the Netherese, and Netherese were part of Forgotten Realms, and were just completely wiped off the map, like thousands upon thousands of years ago. And so part of the rumor mill was that Vecna used those obelisks to go back in time and wipe them out. That's what I put together in a video. And there was also, what was it, Seraphis? There was something that came out. They did a promotional shot that showed like some runes or something. And I think it was on the collector's version of Eve of Ruin.
Yeah, on the back.
On the back. And I think we determined that those were parts of the Rod of Seven Parts anyway. But we put all that together. And that's what we came up with, was this basic storyline of what Vecna was going to be doing and what the players were going to be tasked with. Mm-hmm. Then they came out with Vecna Eve of Ruin, and it was completely not that. So Chris Perkins, I guess about 5, 6, 7 days ago, came out with that article that stated, where he was being interviewed, and he flat out said, yeah, I mean, this was our original idea, was to have the players move through time collecting the different obelisks. Each one would take them to a different point in time where they would have to undo what Vecna had done and kind of restore a timeline, so to speak.
Right.
Only what we got was a far cry from that. You know, we got what was ultimately in Eve of Ruin. He said that, Perkins said that there was a position shift change in at WotC, if I remember correctly, and he was taken out of the role of development and put into a different role of somewhere. And a new team came in, and they just completely axed everything that he and his team had worked on and just basically rebuilt it from the ground up. And it was total shite.
Yeah. So it sounds like they were trying to go for the Avengers Endgame for D&D.
That's exactly what the original was. That's what Chris Perkins was wanting to do. In fact, that's almost, I believe that specific phrase was even mentioned in the article. Yeah, that they were trying to do an Avengers in-game type scenario.
Which, I mean, so many people want to achieve that, because that would, again, props to Marvel. That the end game was a very good way of like ending like 4 big phases to like three or 4 big phases, like bring that to a closure. Fantastic, very nice. And something everyone's wanted. You know, DC was gunning to get that, and it's something everyone else has looked at and gone, well, this has had a phenomenal cultural impact. We'd like to replicate that for ourselves.
Wouldn't they just?
Well, the problem, from everything you've told me so far, what I'm hearing is corporate restructuring, which is that is never going to have that's good if you want to have a blank slate. But if you're in the middle of big projects like that requires years of building up, of teasing and hint dropping. Yeah. Like if you're doing that, like again, if we go all the way back to like Mines of Fendelver, which is what, like when did
well, the original one came out in 2014. That was like the very first adventure for D&D, or for 5th edition.
Yeah. Okay.
But now it wasn't tethered to the obelisks. When they redid it 3 years ago, they added on a second part to it, and that second part had the obelisk in it, shattered obelisk in it. Yeah.
Sure. So we're just going to say they've been working on this for 3 years. We'll go from there. So like that's 3 years of like work, teasing, and everything. That's out the window, because again, tabletop role-playing games doesn't have that. Like Marvel had the willpower and the willingness to go the long mile. You know, have movies that would be a flop, have some that would be an absolute success, but they would have the continuity between all of them that would just like streamline, and then that would gain the momentum. You can't do that in tabletop games unless like you like World of Darkness, for example. Like, you know, you're going to be coming towards an end game, and then that's it. Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, why would you do that to yourself? That's not a good business strategy. It's a very good idea, but it's not a good business strategy.
So yeah, I'd say we all agree on this.
Yeah, like I can't really. I'm not disagreeing in what you brought up for this. But it's a shame, though. It's a shame that that's what's happened in order for you to, or in order for them, what they was going for, only for it all to be cut out and be like, shit, like just shoehorn it in and like call it a day.
Yeah.
But I'm also under the impression that now with 5e or 5.24 being out, like they are clearly wanting to go for a very different. 5e was different. Like they were trying to do something different from 3.5, from 4th edition, and they're like, this is a brand new thing. We're gonna go in a complete new direction. We're gonna cater to the entire thing. And then over the years, we've seen as that direction so slowly deviated away from what brought most people into 5e to begin with, and it's now reached to almost like the critical mass where they have to go, right, we have to restart, capture the audience that we now have the target for 5e, and then start over so we can only focus on them going forwards. That's what I have taken away from, because my players gave me the Dungeon Master's Guide for 2024. So reading through that, I can sort of see, like, okay, this is not the direction of the original 2014 book. So it's like it's two very different directions that they want to go for, which is fine. And it's awkward how they've come to implement it. I really think they should just have gone, right, this is now the 6th edition. This is what we're doing. Or like I don't even know. Like it's such a difficult position in my eyes. Because you either need to do a hard, here's a new edition, or here is like the DMG second version. But now we're back to like problem of like bloatware or bloat books that we had in previous editions. You had 3 DMGs, 5 players' handbooks, 7 monster manuals, and expansions to each class.
Yeah, but look at what 5th edition did with not having all the like having
You need
DM
like
stuff, player stuff, all in one book though, with like Tasha's guide, with Xanathar's guide. That was kind of worse off.
it had bonuses, it had downsides. I'd definitely say that with 5th edition, just to run it, or just to have like all of the various rules that would make the game very playable, you would need the player's handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide. You would need Xanathar's, Tasha's, guide to everything. You might even need Mordenkainen's, like one of the books from Mordenkainen and Volu's guides to monsters to like really get all of the build-ups. But you're now like going into because like Tasha's guide to everything just goes and takes the rules as we know, throws them out the window and go, fuck it, you can do whatever you want. Those books, everything in there should be optional, and you should be picking and choosing like Lego blocks for what it is that you want to build your game, and then the rest is discarded. Similar to how 2nd edition had the optional or the player's options or the optional books. You can take those books. Everything in there is optional. You don't have to take everything. You can pick and choose which ones you want to use.
But yeah, I as I was saying with as I put in Derek's chat before we went live, and I've never said Perkins was a bad storyteller or creative manager, because clearly he's proven that point, and clearly you can see that in things like Acquisitions Incorporated when he was running those at
He's absolutely incredible when it comes to that. Like, I am not going to be disagreeing with any of that. He is very good at telling a story. He is very good at entertaining. He's very good at handling chaos.
Yes.
Which is fantastic. So I absolutely agree. He knows how to do it. He also knows how to take products that other people would be going like, oh, this is horrible. 4th edition, he got the people who ran Robot Chicken and took them through a game of D&D. And he showed, like, here's how you can run 4th edition, but it's fun.
Yeah.
And it was smooth. I was like, wow, that was 4th edition? I had such negative views of it. Maybe I need to go and read a bit more. Oh, would you look at that? It actually has, some pretty neat things.
But yeah, it's... I mean, as, Derek was saying, 2-3 years ago, we were speculating that this had to have been what happened, because everything about until that actual information release of what Eve of Ruin was going to be, we had speculated that's what it was going to be about because of, prior advertising to that being, this is going to be the big build. Like, these have been building up to this. These obelisks mean something. And then they didn't.
They just didn't even show up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a weird one for sure.
Yeah. But hey, that's... Oh, I feel so validated just being able to be like, yeah, see, WotC does suck. They don't know what they're doing.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably still shouldn't go around calling all 5E's cunts because they don't know any better. But, baby steps.
Yeah, but like I'm going to use my real life group. They start out with 5E because they're like, hey, it's what we're aware of. It's like a cultural, big thing. We'd like to start with that. I'm like, that's cool. So I took them through Curse of Strahd. I took them through Red Hand of Doom. We're now doing like a Pirates campaign, and they've all sort of agreed that, okay, we've done a lot of 5E. And every time I've done one-shots, I've gone, we're not doing 5E. I'm going to introduce you to a different game. And they've sort of gone, ooh, these are nice. These are nice. These are very nice. Witcher, ooh, we like that. We'd like to do some Witcher next. So they're dead set on that. The next game we're going to be doing is in the Witcher universe, which is lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic. Can't wait to murder them. I don't even need to murder them. I just need to cut off their limbs.
You need to run them through paranoia.
No, I don't like paranoia. Like, as a game, that's just... I do not like it.
Oh, we had fun.
Listen, you had fun. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I do genuinely mean that. Like, if you have enjoyed
No,
it...
I know.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, it's just... I know I've heard so much about it. I've seen the playthrough. I've seen Yogi run through it. I sat there and I went, I do not like this style. I do not like what this is entailing. This is not for me as a game master.
And I think that's what made us like it, because we played it without hearing about any of that stuff. It was I mean, we played it when it was just brand new, right out of the shrink wrap, and there was no history of it yet. It was just brand new released when we got our hands on it. And rolling up characters, and when it specifies at the front that, okay, game master, storyteller, whatever they called it, when the players are rolling up their characters, you got to kill one of them off at the before character creation even ends. And I mean, when that happened, we were like, "Holy shit, this is different." And that's kind of what made it fun, is because we didn't know that history of it, because there wasn't one, and it was just such a new and fresh idea from what we had been playing. And keep in
Previously,
mind, I
yeah.
mean, this was the era of third edition, at this
Yep.
point, which was really brand new at that time too, because, gosh, second edition is what everybody was really used to playing, and then when third edition came out, we kind of started playing that, but yeah, Paranoia was just so wildly different, and that's why we had fun, because it was wildly different. Hearing about it, how it played today, 30 years later, whatever, 20, about 30 years later. Yeah, I can see people not wanting to touch it. I get that.
Yeah, it's, I'm afraid, like, from what I've seen and what I've heard, it has been it's been shown to me in a very tarnished and
Mhm.
I can't remember how one of my players put it. Basically, it was presented to be covered in tar and feathers. And
Yeah,
then
I
when
mean,
I went looking, gone.
it does perpetuate that view of storyteller or game master, dungeon master, again, whatever it's called, versus the players. It really leans heavy into that. And today's audience, that's not really how it is perceived anymore. It's not a DM versus player. AD&D was kind of like that, but Paranoia was definitely like that.
Mm.
And then, of course, you have the complete opposite with Highlander, the role-playing game, where no matter how hard the DM, storyteller, again, whatever, tries to make it a cohesive story, it will always and forever devolve into player versus player, because that's the nature of the game. There can be only one.
Mm-hmm.
I hate you.
I'm tired, Coach.
Well, to quote a great man, I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah.
Randy Marsh. Gotta get to fights for well, the kids are just playing baseball.
And every other fucking fight he got in.
I thought this was America.
So this is America.
Yeah. Anyway, my players actually stuck to the plan that they presented to me, which was fantastic. I threw them down on a gigantic map. So big that one of the players basically had their computer grind to a halt because it was they couldn't that laptop couldn't handle the fact that there were so many things it needed to load. I was just like, wow. I'm running a game with people who has potatoes for laptop. That was good. The players got to fight Ragdoll as usual. They take no chances. They immediately went, right, we're going to have Valkyries hovering above us, shooting anything that's charging at us while we go in and steal the glory. Which is fun. the players also didn't pay attention to the battle environment. So one of them went, "I'm going to go and take cover behind these things over here." It's like, that is the artillery shells that the Valkyrie is shooting laser guns nearby. Which one of the players immediately went, "Oh no, oh no." And another person pointed at some barrels that I put down and went, "What's that?" And I went, "Oh, you squint and you see the signs of radiation. And can you give me this roll here?" And they did. They passed. I was like, "It looks like the rat goal was taking these barrels filled with like radiation waste, and they were going to mix them together with the artillery canisters to basically create dirty bombs to fire at the walls." And the player sat there and went, "What? What?"
Yeah, dirty bombs, why not? That's part for the course.
Exactly. The players were just a bit surprised that I would actually do that. I'm like, no, I absolutely will do this. You can't
Well,
stop
we're
me.
definitely going there.
Exactly. But wait, I have more. So one of the navigator, realizing that he's got powers to basically slow down enemies, they can't really do much. Great, you got to make use of that. So he drops that down here and there. And another, the psycho, basically gets out his hand flamer, uses telepathy to make it fly away from him over towards the enemy and just cover them in holy promethium, as you do. Once again, it's a very big map. Most of the players zoom all the way out so they don't see all the small details, but I know what's down there. So when he goes like, "I'm just going to apply it over here," I'm like, "Okay, bring up the template one more time." And he's like, "Okay, does that." And I was like, "Hold it there." All right, great. Roll damage. Thank you. He gets Righteous Fury, does a large amount of damage. And the great thing about Flamers is that it's energy based. Makes sense. And one of the critical components of when you do energy damage is that the enemy's ammunition on them will blow up. One of the rat goals that he was hitting was armed with a rad gun, as in radiation gun. So when that blew up, I was describing the effects of Chernobyl, of like, you are literally seeing pillars of light go up into the sky. And the player sat there and went, what? I'm seeing what? To which one of the doctor of the group basically went, "Well, I hope I packed some iodine pills, because we're going to need that." In that same turn, the navigator went, "I'm going to get out my plasma pistol and shoot in that direction." "Oh, I missed." I went, "Okay, you shoot in that direction. Here's where you are. Bring out the ruler. Okay, I still need you to roll damage." He went, "But I missed." I'm like, "Yes, but you hit something else." To which he starts laughing nervously.
That's
see,
just
there
the
was
correct answer.
Yeah. So there was, behind the enemy he was trying to shoot, there was a container that the plasma gun, or the plasma shot, basically tore right through, and then it hit a bunch of canisters with more radioactive material. So they activated their dirty bomb a few hundred meters away from them.
I'm assuming they did not survive.
So the way I was ruling it out is that there was going to be an area of effect for that, for the immediate blast, and then everyone had to do toughness rolls. And now it's going to be down to them basically taking copious amounts of drugs to keep going.
That's how I do it in Fallout.
Exactly.
That's how I do it, just getting to work.
So that was the introduction to the coming siege. And the players like, "Oh boy, this is bad."
What? No. What?
Yeah. So we were able to sort of wrap it up from there. They did a last strafing run and then got out of there. And the coming battle, I'm gonna have them. They have to pick because there's what's going to be flashpoint events. So they're going to be overseeing a siege of the entire city. Their roles are basically like supplying, giving the soldiers encouragement, making sure that there's rotations that are happening, that sort of stuff. But there's going to be 3 flashpoint events where the players have to go, right, we have to go there to stop it. Otherwise, the enemy is going to have a major victory, which will have a compounding negative effect to us. But if we keep them, we will keep the bonuses that those sites provide. One of them is the forges of the city, which has been built outside the city walls, because the Mechanicus likes to turn around and go, we have autonomy. We can build where we want. So that happened, and the Mechanicus also turned around and went, well, you as the Imperium, you have to come to our rescue, because you are obligated by treaty to defend us. So there's a lot of soldiers over defending the forges to keep them going, while the Mechanicus is just like, we're just continuously pumping out more guns and more concrete and more everything. Meantime, some of the walls are being attacked, and there's going to be a sneak attack where the rat ghouls are just going to be donning on concealment cloaks during night, making their way in, up and above, and they're going to try to make a sneak attack into the governor's palace. So the players are going to have to make some decisions of like, where do they strike? Do they defend the forges? Do they stop the walls from being basically exposed, or do they save the leadership of the city?
Is there an option for them to completely try to take over
the city?
Yeah, and they themselves be the ones to rule the city.
Well, that's always been an option. They've just not chosen it.
Ah, gotcha.
Because at the moment, the city or the planet have basically declared that they have an allegiance to another faction. So if they take it over, and if said faction finds out that they've taken one of their planets, that is going to sour some relations.
Sure.
Because technically they're allowed to. The other faction's going to be like, we've literally invested money and a lot of resources into this. Why would you steal from us?
Proof that it was us.
It's one of those things of like, they can just do it. They can't just claim this entire thing. It's just a question of like, is that what they want to do?
Well, and secondary to that is, can they defend it after they claim it?
Yeah. It's I mean, they probably could, but it's just one of those situations of how much resources are you willing to put into subjugating said planet? Because there's like 6 to 7 billion people on this planet, but they just have to keep like the capital under their control, and everything else falls into place because that's how this planet is set up. Yeah, that's what they cannot do.
It's what they can do, but will they do it?
It's their options. They can go about as they please. To be honest, I'm a bit up in the air. Like, either have the special forces or the stealth forces, rather than having them go to the governor's palace, have them go to the energy sector and basically do sabotage to bring down the ship, the city's void shields. But also because that's where the mysterious, or what the players have called for the dragon egg. It's basically a Uvath sphere. They want to go down there and activate it. And if that gets activated, hardly fucking do. It's going to be an absolute shit show. Because there will be things that will come into play.
I get that.
Minor side point, I just want to point out, Sax. Apparently 537 is the maximum amount of items you can add to your Lego cart for individual pieces.
Jeez. Wow.
So I've cleared my cart, and I'm going to rethink what I desperately need.
Get a
Well,
spreadsheet open.
can you just do like a second order?
Shipping costs.
Oh, no. By that point, I was qualified for free shipping. No, it's because there's a service fee of $15. I only want to pay $15 once. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, well, that's the plan. So I've got like I've got like between 3 to 5 events that the players can do, depending on like how things go. So like if the wall's broken, then they've got to do like a hold them scenario. If they can't hold them, the spaceport or the landing pads of the city are going to be attacked and likely fall, and then it's going to be a case that the city is basically going to go, well, we're going to use the tried and tested Imperial method of throwing bodies at the problem until it stops. If the players decide that they want to go and help the Mechanicus, it's going to be street brawling in the Manufactorum against not rank goals. The rank goals have actually created what's referred to as bronze malefics, which is basically minor demon engines that they're just going to throw in there for the intent of those engines wreaking havoc and attach and inserting themselves into the various machine spirits to create viruses.
Don't worry, they're good viruses. Healthy viruses.
Yeah, exactly. The ones that make your immune system better.
It purifies your immune system so well that you'll never get another virus, malady, or otherwise life-threatening disease because it kills you first. That's how effective it is.
Exactly.
So, Seraphis, do you guys have gummy snakes that size?
Probably.
I still think that would be funny. I think you'd be constipated for a month.
No.
If you tried to eat one.
No.
You say this as if you're speaking from experience?
Of one? No.
Yeah.
Of the equivalent of that amount for multiple bags over a very long weekend? Yes.
Gotcha.
Joy. Yeah. Otherwise, my Sunday group that plays Curse of Strahd, and they're level 15, just because shits and giggles. They are having more fun bullying the various entities of Barovia. Like, it's
Have y'all
just-
gotten through Death House yet?
No, I didn't want to take them through Death House. One, I haven't run that. Like, I've never taken anyone through that. Everyone's been at least level 3 before I put them in Barovia. Just because I've not seen the appeal of Death House. I'd rather have the whole, you are now cordially invited by Strahd to come to a visitation and what have you. I find that more interesting than you go into a haunted house, you step outside, and oh no, you're now in Barovia. It's like, no, I don't like that. That's way too Like, it's way too much of me pulling their noses in. But again, that's surely down to a preference. So they've been in the village of Barovia. They have helped Irene and Ishmark bury their father. They found the priest who had his vampiric son. Again, the players were level 14 at the time. The wizard, upon learning that the father had the vampiric son and he had been feeding that son his own blood, and he's also taking a couple of children to feed him, basically went, all right, cast geese on him, make him go and repent. So it's like, okay, roll the character's intelligence. Well, he's now going to go and admit his sins to the entire village. So he's dead. The players were stumped that they couldn't make a skeleton talk and argued for the longest time that Speak with Dead should force the skeleton to talk with them. I was like, I gave in at the end because it's just like I'm sitting and arguing with 5 people saying the same point over and over.
Technically,
so I just gave the two.
Technically, it is an undead.
It is, exactly, but like after they broke it down and everything, it was like
Okay, so I had this exact scenario happen, and it was not too terribly long after the D&D movie came out, in which they went and did that. Yeah,
that's exactly what they cited. They even gave me this screenshot of the exact scene.
Yeah, and so my retort was, they did another spell. I can't remember what it was, but I basically hinted at them that this skeleton was a deaf mute when it was alive. And therefore that aspect carried over into death. No amount of Speak with Dead spells was going to get that skeleton to speak because it didn't know how.
Yeah. I just gave them the most basic answers. I was just like, who do you serve? My master. Like, Jesus Christ. It was like, what will happen after you tell your master that we've arrived? I don't know. He's just a scout. Yeah. So they went, oh my God. Why did you run? I had to report that you had crossed the bridge. Why do you have to do this? I don't know. It's like, again, like it's a zombie. He has very strict instructions. Like, when this happens, go and tell me. Now, he doesn't need to know why or what the intricacies are. Yeah. And then finally, they were like, okay, we've used 4 questions. What's your favorite color? Turquoise. And dead. Like, what have we learned? Nothing. We're actually worse off from this. It was just because Oscar argued that he didn't want to do it because he didn't have a mouth. We argued against him. He gave in. And now we've got nothing out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't want to tell them, listen, guys, it's not going to work because I don't have anything written down for this thing. I've never had a plan for this to happen, so that's why it's not going to work.
I was straight up disagreeing that they should be able to talk to it because it doesn't have the muscles or the tongue to actually talk. And their entire retort is, it's magic, Oscar. They will just talk. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. We're going to go down this road. If he has to talk, he's going to have to have the mindset of a soldier who doesn't look outside the scope of his orders. He has no interest because he's an undead. He has orders. It's an if-then statement. What happens outside of this? I don't know. I don't care.
No.
Which, funnily enough, like the tarot card reading. What I had set up was that each player was then meant to be like a person of purity that had to go in, take the card out. It would be read out and all that. So when the last player picked up the card, I read out the entire thing. He just went, I don't like this. I'm going to use phase to then go out. Now, at the time, I'd already ruled it would be funny if they could just come and go into Barovia. But he decided to do it there and then. So I'm like, okay, well, the card now goes blank. So everyone looked at it and went, well, what's happening now? It's like, well, the fortune teller's looking at you going, well, I need someone with a strong soul to pick a card. I was like, we've just lost the ability of having a paladin be our ally because one idiot decided to phase out of the area, and none of us are allowed to pick it correct. So I then had Ishmark pick it up and basically go, "Oh shit, I'm gonna be your ally." So they went from having a very interesting paladin with backstory and all of that down to you get Ishmark, the mascot, and the player sat there with, "My God." The entire game just changed in front of our eyes because we decided to be idiots. We've now locked ourselves like they were literally joking like we've locked ourselves out of an entire section of the game because we fucked around and found out.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had my fair share of players do the same.
Yeah, I told them. I made it, and even in game, I was like, "Well, this has now happened." They were like, "Oh my God!"
So I mean,
come back to life,
you have
and
that.
then
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
go on. No, I'm done.
Oh, so you have that happen, where they basically lock themselves out. How many times have you had to go back in and because damn it, I spent so much time prepping this area. Now I'm going to reskin it just so that they can experience it because damn it, I spent 4 hours working on this.
You're talking to the wrong guy. If they lock themselves out of it, they don't get it. And I tell the players, if you do this, yeah, I may have put in all these hours, but you will now never see it. I make 100%, and you may sometimes only see 10% because you don't go and ask the questions. You don't go and explore. That's not on me. That's on you. You decide that you don't want to explore and learn these things. So I tell
That's
them, like,
bold.
straight up, if you guys don't want to put in the investments, you don't get it.
Hmm.
If you go and ask questions, you go and investigate, you go and put together the pieces, you will see how deep this rabbit hole will take you. You will be exposed to the labyrinthine mindset that is me. As one of my players realized when he decided that he was just going to ask one question, or like he was going to say like one statement, and which that player's done twice in 4 years, and he bypassed like months worth of me taking them on like mini adventures because he asked the right question. One of them was, I remember that in session 10 we picked up a dagger from a werewolf. Can we try to use that to scry to see who the owner of that is? Yes, you can. You've now learned that the big bad guy of this entire campaign, this entire like all of the mini arcs you guys have gone, has all been orchestrated by the Yuan team. They've created they were exploiting a silver mine so that they could basically mint their own coin so that they could unify goblin and hobgoblin tribes into a formidable force so that they could go down and attack a specific city which controlled the riversides so that trade in that region would start falter and the economy would degrade, meaning that the entire place had to put all their attention upwards, which would create an opening for a hostile nearby country to launch a counterattack into said area, basically destabilizing an entire region and creating anarchy so that they could go out and do some further experiments while everyone else was busy dealing with an absolute shit show. That's what the players learned by basically going, I remember in session 10 we found this. It is now session
Right.
45. This might now be relevant. And that same player then turned around and went, wait, everywhere we've gone, there's been this thing about like high concentrations of magic. Is there any documentation of like sites of strong magical components or like areas of big woo-woo that we might have in these lands? So I just sat down and went, you fucking shithead. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
He's then found the pattern of where the Yuan-Ti naturally go and make their bases because it's areas of high magic concentration because they are of high intelligence. Ergo, high likelihood of them having magic. So they go to places which enhances their natural ability. Like snakes are drawn towards heat, the Yuan-Ti in my game are drawn towards magic. So they began finding these patterns of playing years and years and years and like going to places and picking up on the subtle methods that I was dropping to them.
Right.
So that's the example of like what you can get out of the games that I do if you decide that you want to ask questions, poke and prod, and basically like learn what's happening beneath the surface.
I get it.
If you decide not to, you never see this. You never learn about it. Yeah, I tell my players, this is all on you. It's not on me. I put in the effort for this. You guys decide you don't want to do it, and at the end of the campaign, I delete everything. All my notes, all my maps, everything's thrown out the window. It's gone. I'm never using it again.
So what do you actually do with all of the notes and everything? I mean,
I delete them.
You don't really?
They're gone. I don't use them. That's the end of the campaign. I don't need this anymore. I move on to the next project. I don't store them. I don't use them. I don't build a wider world. It's just that's it. This world only exists as long as the players invest into it, and then once it's done, it's gone.
I get it.
That's something I know it mortifies Bear every time he learns about it. He's like, well, why would you do this? It's like, why would I keep it? Why would I use it? The players are not coming back here. I'm not going back there. Once all of this campaign and that's over, I move on. That's me.
And why wouldn't you?
It's like,
I'm still trying to figure this out.
fair enough.
Saxius,
Hi.
I have a question for you.
Fire away.
Hopefully I'm saying this right. Does stroopwafel mean anything to you?
I know it's a Dutch thing. The word does not mean anything to me. Like, it doesn't translate. But I do know what stroopwafel is, and I could see you were eating one. They are horribly addictive. Like,
There's 3 left of the packet.
yeah, enjoy that. They don't live long if I'm around.
Yeah. I can only, like, because of how, like, rich they are, I can only eat, like, 2 a day. So, like, yeah. I've basically been eating at least 2 a day since they arrived, and dear. Then I'm going to have to wait another few years until they come back.
Oh, what, a seasonal thing?
No. Grimm's brother lives in Netherlands now.
Yeah.
And when he comes and visits, he brings back packets of them. Initially, it was for Grimm, but she's gone off eating them, and so I've taken up the mantle to carry this.
Because, hey, I mean, they're there. Why not, right?
Absolutely. And Jesus Christ, they are delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, we do have some that are made here, but apparently they're not as good, so I don't want to tarnish
It's the honey. It's the honey. It's the
Yeah.
honey that they use.
They're delicious.
Mm-hmm.
You sir are lucky that you get to live so close.
Yeah. Like I can actually buy them every so often. Like whenever the supermarkets get them stocked in, I can pick them up. They're great.
Tomorrow's gonna suck.
Monday, they usually do.
I've got school drop off in the morning, so I've got to be up by 7. I've got to have like something around 2 hours so I can do the recording for my video because I didn't get it out last week. And then it doesn't matter if I finish editing it or not, I can do that Monday. Really? Hold on, when was that? Because Gert's in that one.
3 weeks ago.
I'm not sure when it was. Back when I was called Red.
Oh, clearly.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. And then in the afternoon, pick kids up, and then we've got Grimm's family thing in the afternoon so that the kids can hang out with their niece. Grimm's niece, their cousin. So, well, they're over here. So, yay. Yeah, the alternative is that you just set up the disable camera feature so that it's you there instead. I'm just pointing out it's an option.
But see, this way I can still be here and blend into the background.
The background, that's you.
I need to figure... Okay, wait. I mean, okay, so this could be fun. I don't know. I can't get it. I don't know. Ignore me.
If only.
Yeah.
You don't give me a choice.
Oh, dear. I have a feeling there was something else I was gonna. Something came up during the week, and I was like, oh. Talking with Sax about that, he would go off on a field day on that one. And I cannot remember, and I don't seem to have a note anywhere around. Nope, that's the wrong note. No, I don't seem to have a note anywhere. So I didn't write it down. That's very annoying. So sure, I figured it would probably be one of those things that would set off the old Saxius. And
Probably, yeah.
But it was something. I don't think it had anything to do with Discord. I think I randomly came across something like on YouTube or Facebook or something, and was just like, I should mention this to Sax to see what his and get him to start going off.
Is this in regards for like the Discord rules for everyone having to submit their government ID?
No.
Okay. Because I've had a number of Yeah, no, I've had a number of players actually reach out and go like, I might have to drop out of the game because I am not doing this. I'm like, well, I understand. If you choose not to do it, basically means all servers that are marked as not safe for work or whatever, you just can't access them. You have to then go and verify it. That's my understanding because that's how it's been implemented here in the UK, and it's been successful. So they're now doing it worldwide under the protection of teens, not children, teens.
I'm gonna have to pause you there, Coach, and ask for context because I don't seem to have any for that. What's going on?
So Discord has rolled out a new policy, which is that if you want to use Discord and you want to have access to certain servers that are marked not safe for work, because there are servers where it is either like basically it's not meant for anyone that's over or under the age of 18. You can mark it to have a Discord as such. And if someone's found to not be over 18 and in a part of that server, that server will be shut down. So they're quite strict about that. In order to basically ensure that you can have your server that is for 18s and over, people there have to submit ID to Discord to verify that they are over 18, or they have to submit a face scan of themselves so that they can basically go and verify, like, are you looking like you're over 18? If so, yes, then proceed. So that's what they're doing. Discord has then paired up with a company which is known to take and like mass harvest this form of data, and they keep them. Even though Discord says we as in Discord are not keeping that information, they're just handing it over to a third party. That third party also happens to be Palantir, if you're aware of who they are. So we're already going down that rabbit hole. This rule was originally introduced by the UK government because they said, hey, we have to protect children, meaning that's why we've got all of the, the blocks on many websites and forums where they're like, and I mean like, not even like pornographic, suicide forums that are helping people cope and get through their hard times are now being shut down because the UK government is saying you have to put these safety measures in place, otherwise you will be fined. So they have to turn around and go, well, we can't pay for this because this is all run by charity, meaning we have to shut this down. So they are now basically depriving people of places where they can get help and therapy and assistance during their struggles. Other sites are basically being, other businesses are actually having to shut down because, again, they can't do it. And other websites have straight up said, well, if you've got an IP from the UK, you are not allowed onto our website because we don't want to deal with it. They're obligated, and the UK has put it out so that if you have any traffic from the UK going to your site, you have to put these measures in place. Now, some websites like 4chan has actually turned around and gone, ha, we are American, sir. We do not need this. And the UK has tried to sue 4chan. Now, what do you think 4chan's reaction to this is? And your immediate thoughts are correct. They have pulled together, they have hired a lawyer. That lawyer has then put together a cohesive structure saying that, no, you can't do this. It's an American company. It's based in America. It's under the protected rights of the American Constitution, which trumps any foreign, sets, yada, 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 yada. And by the way, my good sir, did you know that there was a war to kick out the British, meaning we don't acknowledge your rules? That is actually submitted legal counter arguments by 4chan. Seraphis, your brain cells are in the middle of committing suicide, but allow me to help them along. Because there is more to, there's more to this. As I told you, Discord is going to be taking all of this. They've taken basically the delicious amount of data that they've gotten from the UK population and gone, we're going to do this globally. over to everyone else, and they're partnered up with Palantir to basically get all of this reviewed and looked into. So Discord can openly and happily say, we are not keeping the information. It's just being taken by someone else. And during the process of this, while they're harvesting all of this information, it's going to be temporarily stored with them and then moved over. Discord has had, in the last 2 or 3 years, there's been like 3 to 4 times that they've been hacked and information's been taken out, including pictures, thumbprint scans, face recognitions, passwords, emails. So, yeah, Discord is that's what's happening. Has Coach sufficiently informed you, Seraphis? Do you look upon the world with a level of bleakness and despair that you didn't have previously?
You know what hurts me more?
Taxes?
No. See, I don't mind paying taxes because I know where they're fucking going.
I know.
In Australia, that's a good thing.
I know. It's the same in the UK. I can look up how my money is being invested, which I like. I like that a lot.
I mean, I wish politicians weren't paid as much.
Same.
But if the majority of the taxes are going into things like the school system, the health system.
Sorry, I deviated you there. Please go back to what it is that's hurting you.
$4chan.
4chan's hurting you.
Yes. Not so much. I mean, 4chan always hurts me because whenever I have to consider that cesspool, nothing good ever comes out of it. But, I mean, it's the last part of that wording, right? And I would love for that. Just out of curiosity, did they win?
It's still ongoing.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, and if you happen to remember, if you keep track of it, please let me know the end result.
Yep.
Because if 4chan versus
the UK government
wins, I'm not saying I'm going to do anything to the US, but I have a counter argument of I always have a counter section of you can't do this to a country because of sovereign reasons. Here, this is my example why this won't work.
Because that's what they're doing to you.
Yes. And I'm definitely not going to give any examples right now of anything I could be thinking of. But as much as it pains me to think that that could win, there's just a little bit of me that wants it to win so that
you can turn it around.
Yeah. I'd really like to turn it around because I can think of a lot of ways to make a lot of money very quickly. Even though, let's be fair, I mean, by the time that probably happens, the US dollar is probably going to be worth toilet money anyway, so. The currency conversion at the moment, the US dollar compared to the AUD is going down the fucking toilet. We're getting close to 1 Australian dollar being worth 75 cents, which, considering that a couple of months ago it was worth 60 cents, yeah. I have a lot of high hopes that the orange man is going to flush the US economy down the toilet.
Yeah. I mean, I'm checking now for the pound. The pound is 36 pennies stronger than the dollar. So £1 will give me $1.36.
Yeah, don't do that for Australia, because fucking palms.
Oh yeah, that hurts.
Yeah. Do you know what actually hurts? You should have seen it in fucking 2011. Because do you know what was happening in 2011?
I mean, aside from recession,
Yeah, the global financial crisis. Do you know whose economy was the only one that was going positive? The Australian one. Even though the Australian economy was the only one not in a recession, not affected by the GFC, because we fucking bounced that shit off. The fucking pound sterling was still 2.5 times fucking us over.
Jesus Christ.
1 Australian dollar was worth at one point $2.10 USD during the GFC. And yet the lowest the fucking pound ever got was 2.5 times. So for £1, it still would have taken what? $2.50 Australian dollars. Fucking.
I don't get that. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's because of London City.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's like, yeah. Well, that's also like the complaint I have, or the dislike I have. London City. What does it provide? It provides financial services. That's all it does. Like there is nothing else of value that really that capital really provides. It's got a port, sure. That's not really worth much. Like it's services and stock markets. That's all it's there for. It's the same with Dublin. That's all it's there for. That's why Dublin's like, we are making a great deal of money. You genuinely don't have any jobs that are being produced for your people, because everything is just into here's banks, here's stocks, here's funds. That's all you do. It's a tax haven for money to be moved in. So the interest rate can then be, siphoned off, and you can earn some money from that, and hope that can then invigorate your country. No. But again, that's my blear look on that.
Slightly related to that.
Go on.
Can I just say how fucking retarded it is? And correct me if, like, the pommy politicians do this too, Sax. But, like, and Derek, by all means, if you pay remote attention to your government, do you ever get one of your political parties do something like, say, I'm just throwing this out there. Let's say that they sell off for a 99-year lease the most advantageous port in the country to a foreign nation, and then a few years later, let's say 6 years later, turn around to the public and go, look at what the other guys did. They sold off the harbour when it was them.
Sort of. I mean, we have I mean, not quite to that same extent, but I mean, we have double. Almost want to call it double standards. But we do have folks like back when the pandemic was happening, COVID-19 and all that.
Mm.
You had a large group of Republicans refusing to wear masks. Oh, I'm not going to wear a mask. I mean, that's ridiculous. This thing's a fake disease. Blah, 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 blah. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm not going to hide my face. Blah, blah, blah. And now today it's the same people running to join up with ICE that are wearing masks. I mean, I guess if it's, for your health, you're not going to do it. But if it's to protect your anonymity,
Yeah,
it's
anonymity.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one that I find kind of odd. But
No, like I absolutely agree. If you are working for something like ICE, police, or the like, you need to be held accountable. Pure and simple. You are working for the judicial or the executive. Well, I'm going to use the US, the executive branch. You're working for that part where you are making enforcements. Mistakes that you do is something that is going to have an impact onto other people's lives. You're upholding a very high standard. You should be held to a high standard so that you can also be respected for doing a good job. That's just not what we've seen happen. And the standards are not being done, and including in the UK, the police is being kept hidden behind procedures, and you don't really see it. But to answer Surface's statement, yes, absolutely. I know in the UK, anything steel made doesn't exist anymore. Coal mines and the likes doesn't really exist anymore. So, like, a lot of the actual physical labor has just been sent away, sold. Like steel production at the moment is owned by China. And it's not even in the UK; it's gone. So, I know Denmark has done something similar. Like, we don't have a lot of manufacturers anymore. There are some, there aren't a lot, but it has now gone I think it's since 2020, Denmark has sort of gone in the direction of we need to move a lot of these services back home, which does include things like military equipment has been moved back to be created within Denmark. Now, funnily enough, last time I went to Denmark, I was watching the news, and there are people going, the military is polluting the area with their testings and so on. I was like, it's creating jobs, it's bringing national security, and we are also contributing. Denmark is contributing financially, militarily, and materially to Ukraine war. So it's like, what do you want? I just want to live in peace and never hear anything. Well, that's not really how the world's moving in this direction.
Well, I mean, you could attempt that, but at some point, somebody from that outside world is going to come knocking on your door.
Exactly. I'm going to have to step away for a brief moment, so I'll be right back.
Yep.
He's got to go do a live performance. That's what I heard.
Okay.
It was either a live performance or a bio performance. And I can kind of read between the lines as to what bio performance means. But if he's performing that, so how's your health journey, your exercise journey going?
It seems to be keeping on. I mean, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase. So, since we started using the chart, we've been having fun doing that. Here's the problem, though. Even though I committed to start dieting and watching what I eat, making sure that, things like this are a small delicacy, and they're like the only sugary snacky goodness sweets that I have, I have, since I started technically dieting, trying to lose weight 2 years ago, I have gained 9 kilos.
Mm.
I've roughly gained about 2.5 kilos since we started using the chart. I don't.
Well, that doesn't bode well.
No, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong. Like I've gone back to like factoring 2 meals a day. God damn. I've gone back to like 2 meals a day like I did back before kids. I've cut out like a massive amount of snacks. I mean, just because in general Australia's foods are like 1,000 times more healthier than the US. I don't need to be cutting out nearly as much as anything else. I mean,
how much soda do you consume in a day?
What do you mean by soda?
Like Mountain Dew, Coca-Cola, Pepsi.
That would be me Pepsi Max, and that would be on average maybe about 2.5 liters.
That's sugar. I mean, that right there will do it.
No, there's zero sugar in it.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's no sugar in Pepsi Max in Australia. It is sugar-free.
Okay. Yeah, no sugar. Look. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
However, this is the Pepsi Max I specifically drink to counteract my health issues, because otherwise I wouldn't have the ability to be out of bed.
Yeah,
and considering I've got kids, I've got to be taking places and stuff. Yeah, it's a bitch. So yeah, I mean, that's part of the other reason why I had to drop out of the D&D game as well, because it's way too much of a strain on me as I'm just getting older.
Yeah. I'll wait till you hit 50.
I'm not looking forward to it.
It's like there's just like life goals or like checkpoints where it's like, you've now reached X. You now unlock these free DLCs.
Yeah.
Which is to downgrade your lifestyles.
But wait a minute. My D&D character hit level 50 and they're a god.
Yeah, and how old are they? They're what, like still 24 years old? Incredible.
No, it's he's become a lich.
Oh dear. Yeah, I just finding it frustrating. I will be back.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Gaming wise, there's nothing for you, Ryan.
No. It's group is, I wouldn't say it's fallen apart. It's just kind of fallen
Everyone's
apart.
busy.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, oh, I can't commit. I can't do this.
Just pretty much. Well, I mean, it's I do a group up at where I work, and it's college students, and it's one of those things where you've got a couple of folks that are pretty diehard. They show up pretty consistently, but even when they do, they're going to be gone in 4 years. That's assuming that they actually stay there all 4 years. Then you have others that come in, just check it out. They may show up for an hour and then leave. You got another group that comes in. They may show up for 2 weeks, then leave. Another one that's like, oh yeah, man, I want to run this. And they become the DM. They run they're there for the semester, and then they've just decided they're not coming back. Okay, they leave for Christmas vacation or whatever, or for summer break, and they don't come back the next semester. So it's always something happening in that regard. And then the personal game, my home game. Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 kids that were in it that have kind of grown, and they've discovered girls, and that kind of, I mean, I get it. That takes precedence over, chucking dice.
That's why you get the girls into the game of dice.
I mean, which would you rather do? Would you rather get your willy wet, or would you rather roll dice?
Dice.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you're asking
when you were 18.
Dice.
Really?
Yeah. That, to briefly explain, my teen years, I was very much hooked into the game. I was introduced to girls, and it was the whole thing of that. I was known amongst many of the other mothers that I was a chivalrous, very good boy at that time. So they're very much like to have their daughters be looked after by someone who isn't going to have ill intents. I would always ask the same question: do they know this game? Do they play D&D? The moment the word "no" came out, you could just see my face lose interest in this person. I was asked, do you want to do things with this? I was like, no. I was like, why not? What interest do I have that I share with them? I was like, don't you want to hang out with ghosts? Not really. Like, why would I do that? I've got friends that play this game. I've got people who play video games. Why would I invest time into people where I need to then find some form of commonality that is then unlikely going in a direction where I will want to be around them? So I just didn't see the investment at that time. Well, then I wasn't a normal kid for that. It wasn't until like in my 20s I saw went, oh, ghosts are interesting, and then I realized it's probably going to be requiring a lot more, and I can either put a lot of effort into trying to go down this whole dating sphere, which from everything I saw was like, well, this is going to be a uphill battle, and I don't know whether that's anything I want to do.
Yeah.
Or it just ended up with my wife found me interesting, tolerated my insufferable personality initially. I then realized, oh wait, she actually wants to date me. And I then turned around and like, well, I need to put an effort into it because she's trying, and I haven't clocked it until now. So let me start putting some effort into this.
Yeah.
So that's how that worked out for me.
Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of the reason there is, we've had two teenage boys in our group that just went down that route. They discovered girls, and yeah.
I mean, I had charisma in the game and in real life enough energy back then to do both. So,
yeah, I think it's more their every free moment is consumed by chasing. So, I get that. I mean,
yeah, but that implies that they've got to be trying. Why do you need to try? Can't you just be cool?
No.
It's not all of us can wake up with the surfer hair, the automatic wind blowing in our face, and the body of a Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, not anymore. It's more, we're getting to Homer Simpson territory.
Well, okay, so I was gonna go for Leonardo DiCaprio when he had the dad bod, which still everyone's like, ooh, look at him. I was like,
Dad bod would have been about 3 years ago.
You're still rocking it, I presume.
Yeah, but as I said, I've grown from the dad bod to the Homer Simpson bod. So
Sounds to me
mean-
that you have a wonderful Marge Simpson that's looking after you.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Please take that as a compliment. Like, it's not meant as anything else.
I'm tired, Coach.
yeah.
Take fentanyl.
Yeah, I hear it's pretty easy to get in the US.
That I don't know. I've heard about it, but it's evidently it is a big abused substance here, but not anything I've ever encountered, or I've never experienced anybody that's on it. Well, at least not that I'm aware of, anyway.
Oh, you might know it by its older name. Zombie. It was the drug that made people like eat people's faces.
Oh, is that what that was? I thought that was bath salts.
No, it's still derived from the same thing. What fentanyl is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I don't know enough about that stuff. Well, I mean, maybe that's a good thing, but
I'd say it's a good thing.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to go around eating people's faces off?
no.
Only if he's in Florida. Because we all know that's the Florida thing.
Or Wisconsin. Apparently, the US now has 2 PvP servers.
It's happened in Wisconsin too.
Yes. Oh my god, you really need to see how bad Wisconsin is.
I mean, listen. One of you asked earlier, like you said, you made some kind of comment. I don't know, to the effect of, I don't know how much you pay attention to politics in the U.S.
Yeah, that was me.
And I'm like, I try not to, and I don't really watch the news. Just because it's just so crazy. And it's actually just like what we were saying. I know at some point somebody's going to come knocking on my door about all of this.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm blissfully ignorant.
See, that's what I would like to be. I tried to be that for the longest period. I'm now at the point of where I have to stop. I have to pay attention. So I've had my period of bliss. I now need to go back to paying attention because there are political parties within the UK that are actively saying that they want to reopen the case for whether or not I'm allowed to be here as an immigrant, even though I've gone through all the legal procedures that would allow me to be here. And also recently, when I say recently, it was September, October, where they made the announcements. I then figured out, like, oh, the UK government has now passed a law so that by 2029, if I contribute more than £2,000 into my pension, they will tax everything that is beyond those £2,000. So it's like, okay, previously it would be like, you are limited to a certain percentage of your income, which to me made sense. You can contribute as much into your pension as your income is set to, without being penalized. Great. That made sense, but there's like no like upper limit. They've now lowered that from a percentage to a set amount, which means for people who work and wants to provide a cushion for themselves for the future, they're now going to be penalized. And the people who actually have the money, they're sending it offshore. So they're not affected by this law.
Sure.
And how do I put this? It's already bad enough that you're going to have a state pension, which is pittance, and coming from the Department of Labor and Pension means that you're unlikely to really get it when you need it, and they keep on putting the retirement age up, and up. And you then have to have a private pension because if you need to retire before then, they're going to try and tax you on that as well. And they can change the rules by the time that I get to my pension stage, because that's already changed over and over from the new field that I've gone in and worked at. So I have to pay attention now because I'm now realizing, I need to see what's actually about to happen because I can be quite dearly affected by it.
What were you going to say, Seraphis?
Well, I was going to comment to you, but now I've got commentary on what Sax said too. I mean, geez. Although I'll start with Sax because I can probably summarize my commentary on that a lot quicker.
I mean, it's not for you, but yeah, like that is what I'm having to deal with, and I can't vote. I am staying by my personal belief that I shouldn't be able to vote, but I am being pushed in a direction where I have to go and seriously consider picking up the UK nationality to protect myself and my family, maybe even my future pensions and livelihood if I want to stay in this country, which I would very much like to do because I'd like to stay married.
Well, I know it's not an option you would ever consider, but again, because you're both very lovely, I would, always be willing to sponsor both of you becoming Australian citizens, just so you know.
Thank you.
I mean, hey, think of the videos we could make.
On YouTube or OnlyFans?
See, somehow I knew it was going to go that direction.
Why was I putting something in my mouth when you said that?
Oh, I mean, if you're putting things in your mouth, you can join us on OnlyFans if you want. See. Okay, so there was a guy on YouTube that I was watching, right? And this is going to what Derek was saying before. And basically, he watches Australian stuff and then gives his opinion on it, right? And basically had the same opinion outlook as you do on politics in your country.
Okay.
And then proceeded to, from a US point of view, with that input of the US Constitution and US culture and all that, state his opinion on what Australia's politics is and our voting system and all of that. And I was like, I'm not going to call you a cunt 7 or 8 times in the essay response I'm about to comment in your comment section. But every paragraph, you're going to get the impression that I did just call you a cunt. I'm just saying.
See, so here's the key difference. I don't know anything about Australian politics, so I can't speak on it. And you would never catch me speaking on it because I have zero authority to speak on it. And I'm wise enough and smart enough to know that I don't have that knowledge to speak on it.
Yes, but that's because you're actually of an age where you can actually see that shit. And I don't mean to speak ill of the young, but people around, say, Saxius's age in your country don't seem to have that ideology. They think they've got the wisdom to talk and give their opinion on other people.
On everything. I follow you, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like...
What do you... I mean, it really... I would say it's also it depends. Like maybe some people do understand that they don't know about something, so their commentary is going to be maybe prefaced by, I don't know a lot about it from what I've seen, X, Y, and Z, but I could be wrong. Take it with a grain of salt. And that could be coming from someone that's young, or even someone that's old and experienced, that they can say that. But I have also come across people who are older and younger who will just blatantly go, "Well, here's my opinion." It's like, "Well, what do you base that on?" "Oh, it's just my opinion." "What do you mean it's just your opinion?" I'm going to be dunking on Yeo Geek because he likes to have his opinions, and there's more than one time where I've sat and gone, "You are outright wrong and misinformed, so stop talking now."
Oh,
I've also got a player who has opinions, and when I challenge him, I quickly learn he is basing this off stuff he just reads on the internet without questioning it. I'm like, oh my good grief. Stop and apply critical thinking.
I know way too many people like that.
Yeah.
Like read something on the internet and just like absorb it in. And like I'm going to throw it this way. Because, you know, I did my dunk on Sax. I'm going to do my, Sax's generation. I'm now going to do my dunk on Derek's generation. There are some fucking older gens who just need to get off the fucking internet because they do not have the tech skills or tech savvy, internet savviness to understand when something is real and when something is fake. And regardless of either one, you should never take it at face value.
I mean, I'll step in and even like help dunking on myself because it's fun. Like even like someone of my generation or even like the Gen C, there's also the whole attitude difference. Like one of my colleagues from my last job just came up with the entire statement of like, "You can just find another job." I'm like, "What do you mean you can just find another job?" "No, it's simple. You just go somewhere else. You work there for a short period of time, and then you get somewhere better, and you just keep doing that. You don't have to stay anywhere." It's like, okay, well, there are consequences to these things. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about these things. I'm like, well, you may reconsider that when you start realizing that there are aspects like pension contributions and long-term benefits. So it does look bad on your CV when you move around again, but that's my perspective. I have had the counter arguments of going, well, are you actually getting appreciated for staying somewhere for 10 years? And it's like, no, that's correct. It's not true. Which is why, like, even internally, every 5 years, you want to start making noises about, I need to go somewhere else. I need to develop. But again, that comes from a corporate mindset that I know that at least I have, where I know that like every 4 to 5 years, I need to do something to basically show that within my resume, I was doing something. Mm-hmm. I've had 5 years at one job where I stayed in the same job title for 5 years. I moved teams, but I didn't change my job title. And that didn't look like I was particularly ambitious. It just looked like I was being shuffled around. My last job, I did 4 years and then 3 to 4 months of team leadership before I left. And the reason being that it was a shit show being a team leader. It was an absolute shit show. I had zero training, zero preparation. I just got thrown in. I got told, by the way, you have to do nothing different from what you were doing before. No. My first official day as a team leader was to manage and sit and coordinate one of my co-workers saying that she was being bullied. That was my first thing to deal with.
Well, I think in respect of that, I think we ought to change your title from Logistics Lord to Logistics Duke. Isn't Duke a higher?
It is a high one.
Yeah. So I think we ought to change. I think we're giving you that promotion.
No, thanks. I'll give myself this rise, given that you as the generous Derek, overseer of the land of Derek, the insightful man of the Derekness.
I mean,
now it doesn't come with any pension increase or anything, so sorry. We'll have to wait till next quarter earnings to come in before we can verify that. Duking Logistics. Hey, that's better than Dereking Logistics.
Oh wait, no! I've got someone that's isn't it? See if I can do this. No, that's not going to work. I'm just going to put early logistics. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, you can be a noun.
I want to do the whole pond. Erling logistics. Like early. Because
There
I've
you
got
go.
a terrible...
What about a ban?
A what?
Ban of logistics. BAN? Or is that too Celtic?
I'm not familiar with the hierarchies of the Celts. It's probably I've mainly gone for like mid-century medieval. Red Admiral, Rear Admiral.
Yeah, that's pretty bad when wow.
Reader. Rear Admiral. Well,
I guess we know who the bottom is now.
I was about to say like there needs to be a top, there needs to be a bottom, and given the conversations between you,
I
Derek,
am
and
at the
Serapis,
bottom.
gentlemen, you think you have reached the bottom. You have not met me.
Yeah.
I have reached every form of bottom. Socially, psychologically, morally, spiritually. My life and goal is to reach the bottom of everything. By the end of it, I won't even have a place where you can bury me because nowhere will take me. Even the ocean spits me out. I shall become a revenant.
Oh, dear.
Right, Seraphis, you need to sleep. Derek, you need to, I don't know, go on. Siphon off the life of the young.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I was going to say prepare for an interview later today, but that's tomorrow for you. So
No, it is later today. It's
just later?
it's 8 a.m. for me right now. So that'll be in about 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours from now.
I will try to be back for it, but I will probably come in at, I don't know, halfway through.
Yeah, should be a fun one. I mean, it's a guy that runs a convention here that happens every year, and which is going to be next Friday. And I have questions for him, like basic stuff, like, hey, if somebody out there's listening and watching and they want to create their own convention, talk us through the logistics and the steps of how they did of how you did it. Let's talk a little bit about the money involved in a general sense of it, not specifics. Like I don't need to know the minutia of it. Like, well, we spent $4,300 on shrimp. We spent $18 on plastic cup. I don't care about that. I just want to know the generalities of it.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of fun.
That sounds interesting though, because it's not as easy as some people might think. Like, oh, just book a venue and just arrange for like a truck for like meat and buns to be around. It's like no,
right.
Like,
And that's kind of like kind of the logistics, like kind of a little bit up your alley there. I want to ask about the legit, and we'll go over the folks that are going to be, the guests of honor and that kind of thing, the people that are going to be there.
Not to mention like the scheduling, because that must be a nightmare. You've got to go like at least like a year in advance and be like, are you available at this period? Can we book you in for this? Can you guarantee that you're going to be coming in for this thing?
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen, either one of y'all ever seen The Breakfast Club?
No.
Okay. So, Carl the janitor, I am the eyes and ears of this institution. You may not know it, but I look through your letters. I peek through your lockers. He's going to be one of the guests there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm kind of, well, that's fun. So yeah, John Kapelos.
Did you have him, not Kapelos, but the dude who organizes the con, did you have him on like a year or two ago?
Yes, I did last year. Yeah.
That was him. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Same guy, Joel Williams. Yeah. Yep. So that's what I'll be doing later today.
Cool. Sounds like fun.
Yep.
Sax, you got anything going on?
I need to go through what, like, game wise or just life wise.
Hey, whatever you want to share, dude.
All right, nothing in the life, which is all right. Game wise, my road trader group is going to be. We've now got certain people need to pick up things, and they've all got homework for the next session because they've got like 4 to 5 hours to make preparations for the next big fight, and then they have to make a decision of like which fight that they're going to go out and attack.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. So just a lot of work, and I'm going to see how that all pans out.
Cool. Oh, just quickly. You remember how last week I was telling you about how No Man's Sky's Facebook was putting up high-vis jackets, and the top comment was about
Finally, OSHA.
Finally,
Yep.
OSHA. Yeah, so basically it was basically trash collecting and maintenance and stuff they introduced into the game. So basically you now have health and safety standards that in the game.
Yeah.
And you can make your own garbage truck that you can deploy from your new Corvette and stuff. And it's just like, oh my god, we're high-vis OSHA officers now.
I'm genuinely excited. I need to put money aside for that game because that sounds like I'd be coming in like there's so much to do. We must make a production line. It must be up to code.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, there was something that I ran across a story about it or a video that I watched, and it was what happens when you approach a black hole in No Man's Sky. And you go in and it basically just randomly spits you out in another universe. And I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. I don't know. There's something about that game that I kind of want to jump in and just check out.
So just a quick correction. It's small black holes within the galaxy will throw you out into another part of that galaxy. But if you fly through the supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy, that'll shoot you into another galaxy.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
So
then-
does that mean if you've developed any, I mean, are you able to develop anything on a planet? Or is it
What
all
is it?
development on your ship?
Oh
no,
no,
you can build bases.
yeah.
Like both above ground in beneath the sea. You can do mass exploitation. You can do animal hunting. You can do processing. You can do trade.
So if I create this, if I build this big base, whatever, develop whatever it is on a planet, and then I go hit a massive black hole and get sucked into a completely different galaxy, what are the odds that I'll ever get back to my original planet?
Set up a portal on it,
Gotcha.
and then you can teleport back to that planet from any space station, which will have a portal on it as well. So you can always get back to a base, no matter how far back you go.
Gotcha.
Or how far out you go.
Which is nice though, because that prevents the whole thing of like, oh shit, I now got stuck here. I've lost everything. That's 1,000 hours of work.
That's what my main question was. Yeah. I don't know. I may have to check it out one of these days.
Yeah. I've just been downloading a bunch of other games. I've gone like, oh yeah, I probably need to get back into this, like Battle Brothers, Crusader Kings 3, Dishonored, more Heroes Hour, Pathfinder of the Pathfinder, Phantom Doctrine, and Stellaris. Because I hate myself. I would strongly recommend Battle Brothers just because it's like Darkest Dungeon, but you're managing a mercenary company. You have to manage the people within it, which is an absolute fucking nightmare, and you have to get good contracts for them so they become famous, so you can get better contracts, but the better contracts leads you down the alley of you have to deal with nobility, and nobility will backstab you, so you have to weigh up whether or not you want to work with them. And it spirals out of control. You look yourself in the mirror and go, why have I chosen this as a profession? And you realize that you are crippled by alcoholism. The horrors of your past haunts you every night. And the only way for you to cope with it is with more alcohol and drugs. Ergo, you sell your sword and your skills for the highest bidder.
Oh well, that's clearly the game restricting you because, as soon as you start getting even an inkling that maybe the nobles that you're serving are not good ones, you immediately go find their rivals. Say how you want to do it, yes?
So you can betray them. I have not gotten that far myself, but yeah, you can betray them. And there's also a whole bunch of like other things you can do. You can play as like a gang of poachers. You can play as an actual merchant, so you can literally just go around and just do trade, which is incredible. You can play as what's it called, like wildlings. You can even play as cultist who tries to summon demons. So there's a very big expansion to it. So I'd recommend it, but it's not friendly for people who are not willing to sit and endure grinding and losing a lot of characters. And the more soldiers you have in your retinue, the harder it becomes. But the fewer soldiers you have, the harder it becomes because you can't take hits. You have to be very clever about how you fight. But as a heads up, the developers have stopped supporting it because they've developed everything. They've done all the bug testing. They've gone, we're done. We are moving on to the next project that they're spitting out, which is fine. Like, they've been very open about it to the community, that they've done all the expansions, DLCs.
Just going to wish this whole thing on GOG because this sounds awesome.
It does. It's a lot of fun. You can even go on YouTube and just like see a couple of plays of it because I enjoy it. I really like it, and yeah.
It sounds like it would give me more than what I would get otherwise out of something like, say, Darkest Dungeon.
Yes, Darkest Dungeon is more of a meat grinder.
Yeah, and that I found I kept getting bored, to put it away, of that kind of. It's only there to kind of dwindle your heroes until they're fucked, basically.
My graveyard's filled to the brim.
Yeah, one of my playthroughs is like that too. I think by the time I actually had a good hero, I had something like 57 dead heroes.
I would hire them. I would strip them of their equipment and send them in with the explicit instructions that they just have to get as much gold as possible and come back. Survival was optional. Good stuff.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you for
right.
putting up with me.
Rock and roll.
It's not really having to put up with anyone, I'm just saying. It's more the audience is suffering.